Tokyo Brandon here. Today I'm going to break down some interleague Japanese baseball games that are starting to take place on Tuesday. We've got a lot of teams mixing together from different leagues, and I'm going to look at the series where the Rakuten Golden Eagles are going to the Tokyo Dome to take on the Yomiuri Giants for 3 games. Quite an interesting match because we got two teams that is strength against weakness. So when I break down a series, the first thing I want to do is I want to break down 3 main areas, which is starting pitching. I want to break down the lineups, and I want to break down the bullpens. So between these two teams, first thing we look at is starting pitching. Rakuten has Masahiro Tanaka. He's come back from the Yankees. They have Kishi. They have a couple of good starters. Yomiuri, on the other hand, has a few good starters, but they're missing their ace, Sugano. He's out for a couple of weeks. Not sure when he's coming back. But they do have some solid starters in the place to take his place, like Togo, Takahashi. They got a few decent starters. I put the starting pitching as pretty much an even match here. So the next thing I want to look at is the lineups. And when I look at the lineups, Yomiuri from number 1 to number 8 is just solid. No weaknesses at all. They have Justin Smoke. They have Zealous Wheeler. They've got the home run king and RBI king so far this season in Okamoto. No weaknesses, 1 to 8, 0. A really strong lineup, probably the best in Japan. Rakuten, on the other hand, has 2 guys who can hit pretty well in Shimauchi. They have a home run guy in Asamura. They have a bunch of other guys who hit for average, but so far this season they're cold as ice. They're not hitting for average. They're one of the worst lineups in the Pacific League. So Asamura and Shimauchi are basically hitting themselves in with no ducks on the pond. So their scoring is way down so far, although they do have potential to hit for average. The lineup advantage definitely goes to Yomiuri in this case. And the last thing I want to look at is the bullpens. Yomiuri has a bullpen full of guys who were good in 2016. They're aging and they're not so good anymore. Guys like Otake, guys like Oe, Nakagawa. These are guys who were real studs from the bullpen about 4 years ago, and right now they're aging and it's showing, and they're losing some games for the Giants right now. Not very good, and they're losing games. It's definitely an Achilles heel for them. Whereas Rakuten has a real solid bullpen. They've got Yuki Matsui as a bona fide closer. They have guys like Sakai coming out from the bullpen who are just holding it down. So bullpen advantage definitely goes to Rakuten. So when you have one team with a great lineup, one team with a so-so lineup, that so-so lineup has a really good bullpen, and the good lineup has a bad bullpen. What do you do? So I'm going to approach this series. I'm going to be looking for Yomiuri in the first 5, take out their bullpen, and trust that solid lineup. If the starting pitching is fairly equal, definitely take Yomiuri in the first 5. I would also take any kind of team total in the first 5. If you see a team total that's 2.5, I will definitely be looking to take the overs on those. And also full game first 5 totals, I'll be looking for anything over 3.5 if it comes out to bet the over on that. So that's my breakdown for the Yomiuri Rakuten Interleague series that starts on Tuesday and goes through Thursday. Check my page on WagerTalk, Tokyo Brandon. There's always specials. I have about 3 or 4 plays out every day in Japanese and the KBO, and I'll be back with more. Until next time, I'll be back.